Alright guys, we're back. This we just picked up from Harbor Freight today, and my beautiful assistant assembled it for me. So we're going to try this. You turn this so it tips the motor. So we have the starter out. We have the the hood off. We have the fuel lines off, which they look like they're going to be kind of a pain. They might be in the way, so I might have to get like a bungee cord and tie those up. I got the bell housing bolts out of the transmission. All the wiring harness is pulled back. So all them wires and everything's unplugged. All that stuff's pulled back. So these fuel lines right here, I'm gonna try to tie those up tomorrow. But everything else is off. Motor mount bolts are out. Yeah, they've been out. Oh, we got the power steering off. We ended up pulling that. And what you got to do is take these. I decided I'm gonna show you guys on the other one. But we got the power steering pump. We left it. We left the lines attached. I don't know if you guys can see it all that much over there. Yeah. So the lines are attached. And they were just 3 bolts right here. 1, 2, 3. But once you take that pulley off that was right here, then you take them, then you can get to those 3 bolts. So it's apart enough to, we're going to go ahead and yank her tomorrow. I'm not going to do it right now. I just laying underneath there, got my pants all wet, and we got to open the garage door to get this big girl part way out there. And I think on the other one, to save some headaches, is they left the line on the other one, so that might work. But that little bracket right back there, that little bracket that sticks up like a point with a hole in the end of it, I'm going to take that sucker off. It makes a whole lot of, it doesn't even really do anything. I'll show you what it is on this one. It's kind of like a wire loom harness or something to use to hold it, and nothing goes in there. Well, I take that back. I think this bolts right here, that's what holds this on. So we're going to put the other one from the other motor on here, because I don't like that that's all boogered up. It must have been leaking at some time. But see, this doesn't do anything but hold this, and that'll hold itself. You don't need that on there. So I'm going to take these bolts off. But see, these are where the bell housing bolts are, right here. 1, 2, 3. And that's same on the other side. 1, 2, 3. But there's a plug here for the distributor. You got to unplug that. And see, I might take this one off too, because it really doesn't do anything but steady this a little bit. And that doesn't need any steadying. Actually, I think we can leave it attached to that. But yeah, that's one thing that's different. I'm going to have to check those brackets on there. So yeah, we run out of heat. So we're going to go ahead and do it tomorrow, because we've got to push it outside and get the engine pulled. But I realized something on here. Yeah, see, that bracket's a whole lot shorter than the other one, because that one must have had a turbo 350 transmission attached to it, and it used the kickdown cable. This transmission, because I found out it's a turbo 400, does not have a kickdown cable. So yeah. So it won't take long to pull her out tomorrow morning. We'll just, I got to move my Blazer. I went cruising around in it tonight. And one thing that a lot of people don't pay attention to is the transmission dipstick. It wasn't hooked back up when this one goes, but it goes through one of them bell housing bolts. And people leave it, and then, well, people, I say me, because I've left it before. And then what happens is you grab a hold of that nice little dipstick tube, and you're out in the middle of nowhere trying to check your transmission fluid, and you pull the whole damn tube out. or the tube starts leaking because you didn't put the, mostly with turbo 350s. These turbo 400s, the sticks stay in pretty good. But if you can, unless you absolutely can't get that bolt back in, I would definitely suggest doing it. So everything's unhooked, all the wires, all the vacuum lines. There wasn't many, but yeah, it's all unhooked. See, those are the fuel injection lines right there. They gotta come back up. They fell down. See, this wiring harness, once you just start peeling it away from, you know, the furthest away, and then you can just pull the whole thing back. And then, you know, it comes down to, this is just the basic motor right in here. I don't know how well you guys can see that. See, there's nothing hooked to it anymore. So tomorrow we're going to go ahead and work on it. Let's see, that other one doesn't have this whole system on here. We'll have to put that on there. So, no big deal. So, that's it for now, guys and gals. I will go ahead and start the video up tomorrow. Thanks. Alright, guys, it is Sunday morning, and we're getting ready to pull this engine. What we did over here was we got the, you got to put a jack under the transmission under here, and I always put a little block of wood on it so it don't damage the transmission. Because what you got to do is, because like this is the diagram, this is transmission, this is the motor. Well, we have to pull the motor up to clear the motor mounts like that. So you have to jack, what I do is I jack the transmission up first till it hits the cab, then you just put a little tension on the motor and it pulls right out. So with any luck, we didn't forget anything. We remembered the starter wires. We remembered the fuel lines, which we're just gonna have to watch out for a little bit. Now, one thing you gotta watch out for is when you're, if you're gonna reuse this motor, the valve covers can get dented from the chains going on here, which I've done before. And as you're jacking it up, you gotta make sure that, you know, because if you got slack like that right there, and you pull the motor, it could, you know, slobble-dooble the chain there. You don't want no slobbling-doobling going on. So, you gotta make sure that as you jack it, the chain's in the right place. We just bought this sling yesterday. I've never used one. So, we'll see how good it works. Okay. Now with any kind of luck, I mean professional, educated skill here, the only thing that's a bummer is we got all this blocking the way of the crank. So, I gotta pull this chain a little bit longer so that... Now all I did was I reused the exhaust manifold bolts usually to put the, and then I just stick them in the, back in the holes here because I know it's the same thread. So you just tighten this up much as you can. And again, if you're going to reuse the valve covers, I would take them off. But then you take them off, then you got the risk of getting a bunch of garbage in there. So, you know, it'd be nice, I guess, to have a pair of junk valve covers. You know what I'm going to do? That's a good idea. I just thought about that. I'm going to take these valve covers. Yeah, remember I told you earlier about the chain jumping thing? That's what you don't want right there. So it might make you poopy in your pants. So chain's looking clear, everything's looking good. We got this hanging up over here. That looks okay. I think we're looking pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and give her, yeah, these cylinders, they don't like to work when they are cold. free if the engine lift would work. We just got to get this really tight.
The Nova Trunnion.
Yeah, this Nova Trunnion right here.
On the dingle arm.
There we go. And only tighten it, you know, like as much as needed. You don't want to. She's loose. And then I like to keep giving her
Shaky wakey.
wiggles.
Wigglers.
Dances. You know what we do have though that we didn't think about earlier is this has an oil cooler. And it runs these lines right here. Just noticing those. So back down she goes, and we gotta unhook the transmission cooling lines. So we'll turn you back on when we get to that point. Top button. Yeah, didn't even think about that. Transmission cooling.
I don't know why the top button's not working for me.
Actually, I got a couple more bolts to get because that has a brace to it. But maybe I can get to it from over here. Okay, I don't know how many, I probably said the wrong thing several times. Them are oil cooling lines, oil, because they come right behind the oil filter. Transmission's on that side. But let me get down in here and show you what I'm talking about here. These two big lines right here, and what I got to work on right now is that bracket that attaches them. But they go back right there. Let's see here.
The oil filter goes in.
Yeah, see, I don't know if you could see them, but back there. This is the little bitty stuff you guys got to watch out for. Because that little bitty stuff, if you goof up stuff like that, can really put a damper on the whole budget. So I'm going to try for a 3/8 or something ratchet and try to see if I can figure out what size that is and get that undone. But definitely take your time. Put your knee pads on. I ain't afraid to wear knee pads. I can let everybody talk as much crap as they want about my knee pads. But when you get old, stuff hurts after a while. So you have to protect yourself. No matter how much people laugh and make fun of you, still got to take care of your body. So, all right, we'll turn it back on when we find out what we got going on here. All right, so what we did was we got them oil cooling lines off. And, yeah, I said it right, oil cooling. Oh my gosh, she is going to fall out of here. Well, I shouldn't say that too much. She is sliding right out. Now, when you're tightening this stuff up like this with the vice grips down here, only go absolutely what's needed. So, tighten it a little bit more. Try jacking it. If it leaks, tighten it just a little bit more. You don't want to just go ahead and Hercules crank on that sucker and rip it out. So what I do is I go a little bit and I do a lot of listening and watching. You have to pay very close attention, yeah, as to what's going on, because the smallest little thing, like a hung up wire, can ruin your day.
This fuel line stuck in there.
Okay, so it helps having a helper, but what you do is listen a lot. You listen because you'll hear a lot of stuff that works, and as you're jacking, make sure the motor comes out uniformly, front, back, side to side. If you got one side jacking higher than the other, keep an eye out because something's not right. So, see that fuel line bound right up? Oh, yeah, that's the vacuum for the transmission. Okay. All right. I think we're looking fairly good so far to continue proceeding. Now, because the motor's coming out a little crooked, I'm going to go ahead and move the engine lift this way. Okay, what do you think?
These lines.
Yeah, they're attached. And we got another temperature line right down there. One little thing down there, okay? I didn't think these were attached, but I guess I'll have to get down there.
Well, if you just move it, it'll come up.
But there's...
It's spilling all kinds of juices, water.
All right, so I'm gonna climb under there and see. It's probably just a little screwdriver. That's what I'll need to get that probably. Let's see if we can see under there. All right, so then I got the transmission jack in the way. So as we're going through this process here, if there's anything you guys would like to see done differently, go ahead and comment in the comment section. Okay.
What does this go to?
That's the positive battery cable. So it's going to be in the same thing I got over there. So I guess in hindsight, well, it doesn't matter because the jack would have been in the way on the other side too. Actually, I can let the jack down now and pull it out since we're out of the way. It's transmission free. We can put the jack down. And I could see what's going on over there. Alrighty. Yeah. Alrighty. If you could get the light over here to me. See what kind of clip we need. Bust this loose. Yeah, it's just a clip, and there is another temperature sensor down here. That's just an easy wire, and that doggone positive battery cable is going to bind up right there. So we need probably, okay, you can cut the camera. We need a